You were the chosen one! It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them! Bring balance to the Force, not leave it in darkness!
Hey guys, yeah, so a couple days ago, I read and watched some of the Last of Us Part 2 leaks, and as you could tell by the title of this video, I will not be purchasing The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, it's that bad. And in this video, we're gonna go full spoilers, so if you're, if you're in that little minority that still cares about this game somehow, and still does not want it spoiled, don't watch this video. Go watch the last video I made, which will be in the top right hand corner right now. If you have read the spoilers, and you know what happens, and you know how shit this game is, then stick around for this video. So, why will I not be buying The Last of Us Part 2? Why will I not be buying my most anticipated game, not only of 2020, but of the entire generation? For many reasons. One, the decisions that are made in this game's story are terrible. Just terrible. I don't know what adjective I can use to really describe Naughty Dog storytelling in this game. And this is coming from a studio that made the Uncharted series and the original Last of Us. The original Last of Us is one of my favorite games of all time. The Uncharted series are some of my favorite games of all time. These guys know how to make video games. So what happened? Alright? Like, just what happened? So, the main point I think that everyone is, freaking out over, and I'm so angry and upset over, is the fact that Joel dies. Okay, so how do they handle it? Terribly. So, apparently, in the last game, when Joel goes in to save Ellie in the hospital, you kill a girl's father, and that girl's name is Abby. And Abby's, like, probably the most muscular woman I've ever seen in my life. This chick is more ripped than me. I mean, I go to the gym a lot. Like, this girl is, like, she's ridiculously ripped. Like, her arms, like, she could probably destroy me or any guy in an arm wrestling contest. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous just the way that's how buff she is. And you could tell that they're trying to go for, inclusion and diversity, which is another point I'm going to hit on later on this video. But it just looks like unrealistically, buff. And I don't think any transgender person, looks like that. I'm sorry. I just don't think, I think it's unrealistic. So, alright. That's not the point. So, Abby tracks down Joel for 5 years. She's tracking him down. So then she finally catches up to him, finds him, beats him in the head with a golf club, does the finishing touches, and then gets spat on by some henchmen. But it gets even better. The second half of the game, you play as Abby. Yes, you only play half the game as Ellie and half the game as Abby. So you play the second half of the game of the murderer of the main character of the last game. Yes, you heard that right. You play as the murderer of the playable character from the last game. Wow. Like, I can't wrap my head around it. I don't know how this happened. I just don't get it. Like, that is like playing Red Dead Redemption 2 You play half the game as Arthur Morgan, right? Then Micah kills Arthur Morgan halfway through the game, and then the rest of the game is you hunting down John Marston's family. This is what it's like. This is what it's like. And I don't care if the character is trans, African American, Asian, white and straight, white and gay, black and gay, Barney the dinosaur. I don't care. This is a poor story decision. I don't want to play as Abby. I want to play as Joel or Ellie. You made us fall in love with Joel. You made us fall in love with Ellie and their relationship with one another. Why are you making us play as a character that none of us give a shit about? No one cares of what happens to Abby. I don't care. In fact, I want to shoot her. I want to become Ellie and I want to kill her. I want to get revenge for what she did to Joel. And the argument is, well, Joel, he did something bad. He killed his father. Yeah, they were going to kill Ellie, which that's like that's like his daughter. That they have that relationship. That's how close they got throughout the first Last of Us. I would have done, honestly, if I was in his position, I would probably have made the same decision, quite frankly. So, it's just so stupid. And that was the whole point of the last game, was the complexity to it, that they left it up to the gamer, to the audience. Did Joel make the right decision? It's up to us. But in this game, they're deciding it for us. And it's just, it's ridiculous. That's just a poor and stupid story decision. And why did they do this? Why would they take a beloved character in Joel and disrespect him in such a degrading manner? Well, part of it is because of Naughty Dog's political agenda. Yes. And the unfortunate thing about this whole situation is that I can't fully address the Last of Us Part 2 leak situation and this whole disaster without talking about Naughty Dog's political agenda and how it basically ruined this game. This YouTuber, his name is Robin Gaming. I highly recommend you watch him. He's a awesome YouTuber. He does PlayStation content. He does, story-driven games. He reports on them. Naughty Dog especially, those are his favorite games. So if you're into that, like I am, a hardcore fan, of single-player story-driven games, you can, subscribe to his channel. I'll have a link to his channel in the description below. And I'll also have a link of his video, about like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. He posted on July 18th, 2018, of the worrying trend of Naughty Dog's agenda, of Naughty Dog's political agenda. And he highlights a timeline of how it progresses. A few months after the first Last of Us launched, Neil Druckmann was up on a podium giving a speech, and he stated that video games are over-sexualizing women, that they're, we're degrading them and putting them in a disrespectful manner. How ironic, because that's exactly what you did to Joel's character. That's the irony there. So, the examples he put up, a couple of examples, was Cortana from Halo 4, and Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Now, both of those points are nonsense. I'll tell you why. The first one, Halo 4's Cortana. Cortana is an AI. If you want a machine, wouldn't you want that AI to be attractive? It's a machine. She's not, doing anything sexual. She's not doing anything crazy. She's a machine. So that's her design. She's been like that since 2001. And no one's had a problem with it but you. So why all of a sudden is it an issue? Why? Why all of a sudden is it an issue? And, let's say if it was a girl Spartan, wouldn't they want a guy that's muscular and strong too? So I guess you're over-sexualizing men. Like, it's such a double standard. So I guess, by your logic, Neil Druckmann, by your logic, every single Instagram model is over-sexualizing themselves and objectifying themselves. Because by your logic, women showing too much of their body is, over-sexualization and pandering to the horny, male gamers. That's by your logic. Well, that means that every single Instagram model, like Kylie Jenner, Amanda Cerny, Kendall Jenner, Kim Kardashian, all these Instagram models are degrading themselves. They're objectifying themselves. So we have to get rid of them. And all the TikTok people that, show off their body in front of millions of people, they're degrading themselves and they're objectifying themselves. So women modeling, we should get rid of that. Miss Universe and Miss America, we gotta get rid of that because they're objectifying themselves. By your logic, I'm going by your logic. Just to show how dumb and stupid your argument is, Neil Druckmann. So, by that logic, also, men modeling. Men taking off their shirt. That's objectifying. They're showing off their body. That's, that's just this dumb logic. And it's so stupid and unnecessary. And Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5, that game is Japanese. It was made from a guy who's Japanese, Hideo Kojima. The Japanese have a completely different culture. They have their own thing. They do their own thing. It's not American. And there's a reason why she's gotta be like that. Sort of. I think, playing Metal Gear Solid 5, it was a little overboard with, how, like, her, almost her entire character was her, was her body. But that's the Japanese, that's their thing, like, their culture is very, very weird. And I don't think that was the point of Hideo Kojima, and also, Quiet's character breathes through her skin, so there's kind of a reason to that, there's kind of an explanation. So there goes your two biggest points on objectifying women in gaming. And you listen to Anita Sarkeesian, or whatever her name is, the lady who runs Feminist Frequency. Are you kidding me? She hates gamers. She's not a gamer. She's not a gamer. She doesn't know a damn thing about video games. All she wants to do is push her political agendas down our throats times 100, and you have her, whispering in your ear on what to do. And the fact that you even handed her an award personally raises alarm, should have rang some alarm bells with me and I think everyone else. So anyways, Robin Gaming also addresses that in 2017, fast forward about like 4 years, they're showing off The Last of Us at PSX 2017. And guess what this, segment was hosted by? A lesbian vlogger who knows nothing about video games, who played The Last of Us once, and never has ever touched another video game in her life. Now listen, do I care if she's a lesbian and a vlogger? No, I don't care. As long as she knows about video games, it doesn't matter what a person's sexuality. This is not what this is about. It's not about that. It's the reason why she's up there is because of her sexuality. That's the whole reason why she's up there. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't understand why, Neil Druckmann, why? And it was terrible because she didn't know what she was doing. She knew nothing about video games. She knew nothing. She didn't know what the hell she was talking about. And it was cringy and it was awful to watch. And that leads us up to today. And that video will be in the link in the description below. As long as Robin Gaming's channel, I highly recommend you watch that video. Because let me tell you guys something. That video has aged like a fine wine. That video just really explains this aspect of Naughty Dog and pretty much leads up to how The Last of Us Part 2 has become such a colossal failure. And Part 3, this is the third reason why, you know, this game is a failure, is, they write this story to try to, shock us, like, oh, Joel is dead, gotcha, you get to play as this killer, shocking, wow, oh, but wait, gotcha, this last part of the game, you fight Ellie and you almost beat the crap out of her, oh wait, gotcha, you violently beat a pregnant woman, her girlfriend, to almost death while she's pregnant, and then even says, oh, Ellie, Ellie says, oh, she's pregnant, don't kill her, but Abby's like, good. Really? Really? You guys are that downtrodden? Like, you guys really went off that big of a deep end? That you have to do that? Are you kidding me? Like, it's so terrible. The first game was about finding hope. This game is about throwing it all in the garbage. And, of course, if you don't like this game, if you don't like it, and if you don't enjoy it, you're a transphobe, you're a homophobe, you're a sexist, you're a misogynist, you're this, you're that, you're this, you're that. When these people don't know a damn thing about myself or the gaming community. They don't know. And when it comes to their agenda, going back to the second part of why this game is a failure, I feel like, they're making you play as Abby to force diversity down your throat. That's what this is about. Is them forcing diversity and their agenda down your throat and throwing away story to push their agenda. That's the issue here. That they're sacrificing story elements to push their political agenda. To push their own opinions. I can't even follow, Neil Druckmann on Twitter or any of the Naughty Dog, crew members on Twitter because it's all political garbage. I don't want to care. I don't care. I don't want to learn. I don't want politics. I want to learn about games. I want to, insights. How the passionate these people used to be. Now they just care about shoving their agendas down our throat. And, like I said, I have no problems with, putting these certain elements in video games. Like, for example, they hinted at in the first Last of Us that Bill had a relationship with a guy. But it was, it didn't really impact the story that much, the core story, and they didn't really make a big deal about it. It was just something minor. That's fine with me. Ellie, they show that she's, kind of, hinting towards that she has, a thing for girls, that she's lesbian, which is fine with me, because it fits her, actually works better for me, because it fits her character, and it's not so much where it takes the attention away from the Left Behind storyline. But now they have to make it a point to make you play as a very muscular woman to represent the trans community. So, by that logic, I want Americans, like, I guess I want Italian Americans represented more, because I guess, Super Mario Brothers is stereotyping us. We really all don't have mustaches and go, it's me, yeah, pizza. I guess all Martin Scorsese movies with, Italian mafia guys, those are stereotyping us. I want a clear-cut game representing Italian Americans. Why can't we have that? If by your logic, then I don't care. That's, I don't care. But by your logic, Neil Druckmann and Naughty Dog, let's have that. Let's have that. I mean, it's an unreal situation. It's such an unfortunate situation that one of the most hyped up games of this year has now turned into a circus. And especially since we're all inside. We're all suffering with this virus. And we need something, to kind of give us hope and, to take our mind off of certain things. And the fact that they delayed it was unnecessary because the game's only going to come out 3 weeks later. And you should have released it digitally. But it doesn't matter now because I will not be buying this game. Because Naughty Dog has lost their way. And until I see significant progress in Naughty Dog's, ways, then I will not buy another game from them. And there's also been reports of them mistreating employees and how toxic the working environment was around Naughty Dog. And that some people didn't like the way the story was going. And they'd be like, hey, I don't like this. Hey, I don't like, certain characters. Maybe we should change it up a little bit. But they were called transphobic, homophobic, blah, 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 blah. All this nonsense. And they were almost threatened to be fired. It blows my mind how they got away with treating their employees like this. And how they messed up this story so bad. So, with all this being said, I will not be buying The Last of Us Part 2. I will not be reviewing it. I might watch some reviews of it just to see how it is, and I might watch the cutscenes on YouTube to watch it, unfold. But I'm not buying it unless every single cutscene and every single leak is false, and that is not how the game is supposed to be. Then I might consider buying it. But unless it's on clearance in a bin at Walmart, I'm not buying it. It's not happening. It's not happening. I will not support a company. that puts their personal opinions and agendas and makes it ruin the story. I'm not doing it. It's the same thing happened with Battlefield 5. I loved Battlefield 1. I bought Battlefield 4. Those are some great games. But they pushed their agenda in Battlefield 5, and they said if you don't like it, then don't buy it. So, okay. So I didn't buy it. If companies and studios and developers continue to do this, I'm not going to waste my time and my wallet on their projects and their games. It's not happening. And this is worse than Battlefield 5, because Battlefield 5, I wasn't really a big fan of. It wasn't story-driven. It was multiplayer. Even if they had the women in, at the forefront of World War II, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big of a deal as this. You're ruining a story. And the game is about the story, because it's unfortunate, because the graphics look beautiful, and the gameplay looks smooth, but that's not what I'm here for. I'm here for the story and the characters. And that's thrown in the garbage. And the sad thing is, this is a poorly written story. Even if they wasn't for their agenda, it's still bad. It doesn't matter what it is. It's still terrible. It's still bad. But the reason that they're doing it is because of their agenda. They wouldn't have done it if it weren't for their agenda. And that's upsetting. And it's a huge missed opportunity here. I don't think I have been this disappointed in a movie or a video game probably since Batman vs. Superman. I waited for that movie for, probably about 3 years. 3 years. I waited a long time for that movie, and it was a disaster. But here's the thing. Zack Snyder at least took the criticism like a man, and he moved on. People didn't like his movie. He didn't insult the fans. He didn't say that they're homophobe, transphobe, or sexist, or whatever. He just took it and moved on with his life. And I don't like every single movie that Zack Snyder has made, but I gotta respect the guy for doing that. I have to respect him. I have to respect him for that. He sounds like a respectable guy. I still don't like Batman vs. Superman, but you gotta respect Zack Snyder for taking the criticism like normally, like a normal human being, and not criticizing their fans. Another example with the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. They didn't, call out their fans saying this movie wasn't for you. They buckled down and they changed it. Now, For video, they just changed one aspect of the movie. The script was the same. But with this, if they want to do a whole complete 180, they would literally have to rewrite the entire script of the game. And really throw out a half of the game to make, I think, myself and the fans happy. They would have to redo the game, which is not happening. It's not happening. So, unless something like that happens, then I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. And it's so unfortunate. And I was planning on also doing a review of the first Last of Us, and, you know, kind of a lead up to that, and how well Naughty Dog tells stories, but I'm not doing that now because it would just be too depressing to look back on how good of a story that Naughty Dog wrote and how poorly they've handled it in the sequel. What a shame. So, anyways, guys, that's going to do it for today's video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and support us on Patreon. And I will see you guys next time.